Hi, welcome. My name is Ben Fuchs. I'm the founder of Fuchs Financial, and today we're going to talk about Social Security. So, key thing for you is to understand how taking your Social Security benefit early or how taking it late will impact the amount of income that you're going to get for the rest of your life. So, let's say that hypothetically your full retirement age is 66. If you were to take it at 62, you're only going to get 75% of your full benefit. So, if your full benefit was $2,000 a month at 66, that means at 62 you'd be getting about $1,500 a month, right? You're losing that 25%, 75% of the benefit, and you're giving that up for the rest of your life. Now, $500 a month doesn't seem like a lot, but it is $6,000 a year. And depending on how long you live and when you will need that money, that's going to be the key. If you wait until 70 to take Social Security, you're going to get 132% of that benefit, right? So instead of getting $2,000 a month, you're going to get $2,632 a month, another $632 per month, which equates to over $7,000 a year. That is not insignificant. Okay. Also keep in mind that when you're taking Social Security, it's not about the total amount that you can get from Social Security, that you can get back from Social Security. It's really about how is this going to benefit your lifestyle, right? And if you think you're going to live past, 82, then you wait until 70. Right? And we'll say, well, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying my lifestyle. I want to make sure that I'm doing the fun things that I want to do in retirement. You can still do those things. It's just a matter of creating a plan around them, right? And what's most important to you and what do you want to accomplish? You can still make sure that you're doing all those things and that you're having the right lifestyle. That just comes with a greater plan. But when you're looking at when to take Social Security, again, so much of that is dependent on all the other goals that you have. A woman came in, and this was heartbreaking for me. She was 84 years old. We'll call her Jane. And her husband, Jim, had just passed away. His pension was about $54,000 a year. And they both took Social Security at 62. They were each getting about $12,000 a year. So their total retirement income without any of the assets was $78,000 per year. And that was good for them. They were comfortable with that. That worked well for them. And they had other money so that they could fill in the gaps if they wanted to do extra things on top of that. But when Jim died, his pension had no survivorship, meaning she didn't get any of it, meaning that $54,000 a year was lost, on top of that $1,000 a month or that $12,000 a year. So when he passed away, total household income, she lost $66,000 a year. And I'll tell you, that's a really tough thing to start making up from your investments, right? Because they had lived on that. They had gotten used to that. He retired in his late 50s, so they had spent 25 plus years living on that amount of money. And all of a sudden, to have to tell this poor widow in her early to mid 80s that there wasn't a lot that I could do for her, that was heartbreaking. And so, what could they have done differently? Pretty straightforward. When it comes to taking pensions, it's really important to make sure that you have some survivorship or that you have a big life insurance plan. But I tend to not like those as much because they're complicated, they're messy, and something could happen where they could lose the life insurance, and that's what happened. In Jim's case, I think he ended up having like a 10 or 20-year policy, but he lived past the length of that term policy, and when he passed away, she didn't get anything from it. So one, you want to make sure you have survivorship on your pension if you're lucky enough to have one, meaning that if something happens to you, you make sure that a percentage will go to your spouse. Two, you also want to stagger when you're taking Social Security. Typically, we might recommend having the higher income earner wait until they are older, full retirement age, maybe 70, so that if one of them were to pass away, the surviving spouse would still receive the higher amount of the Social Security. So let's say that instead of taking it at 62, Jim had waited until 70. Instead of getting $1,000 a month, he would get $1,760 a month, a little over $8,000 more a year. That would have been a big help to her. Right? An additional $8,000 a year would have made a big difference in her life and her lifestyle. And so again, we want to be thoughtful when we're looking at when we're taking Social Security and how we go about taking it. Just wanted to thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook. Also, in the description below, we have a link to a pamphlet that goes into more detail. We get into a few more numbers, we get into a few more details on all the things that we talked about today, but we hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again.